Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hannah Jean Stitchery Podcast. My name is Hannah and this is episode number 6. Today's video is just a regular knitting podcast, so we're going to talk about my 2 finished objects, actually 3 finished objects, and all of my WIPs that I have and some acquisitions that I got for my birthday. And yeah, so go grab a drink, grab a snack, come back, and let's hang out for a minute. My first finished object is a Sophie scarf, so the smaller one, and this is what it looks like. This is using scrap. I used scrap yarn from my daughter's first year of life temperature blanket. This is supposed to be the same color, but it's 2 different dye lots, so that's fun. But it was just scrap yarn. She had a ball of it that she just carried around the house and shook it, and it was one big knot, so I just took like 2 hours, untangled it all, and decided, well, since she already throws it around her neck in a tangle, let's make her an actual scarf. It is 100% acrylic yarn, craft yarn. I think the color was orchid or maybe hot orchid, I think. So yeah, it's pretty. I think I went up to the number that it said, like I did the amount of increases that it said to do. But I also kept forgetting which side was which, so it's all wonky. It's not even, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody will even know except for you that I just told you. So yes, Sophie scarf, done. Object number 1. There's not really much more to talk about that. So the second finished object that I have was a completely new cast on, which so was the Sophie scarf, but this is a little bit bigger project. You have not seen this before, but you've seen one like it, I should say. It is another, what is it called? Magic Number blanket by Helen Cosgrove Davies. And yeah, while we were on vacation, the car ride up, my son goes, "I'm cold," and we didn't have any blankets in the car that weren't packed up, or weren't not packed up. Anyway, so I was like, well, I guess I'll knit you a blanket for the car. So we ran to Hobby Lobby. I grabbed 3 colors. This is Forest, this one is Be Still, and this one is Dark Denim. So I originally had a different color. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was Ocean. I think that's what it was called. But it was just too close to this middle color, so I returned it and grabbed this color because, yeah, I just wanted a bigger contrast, and I think it worked out perfectly. I love the way it turned out. So this Magic Number blanket is originally for DK weight yarns. You get 3 skeins, and then you can either do it by increased number or by the weight of your yarn. And since I was doing acrylic yarn, and this middle color only had 5 ounces to the ball, whereas these 2 had 7, I went by weight. So I pretended as if the darker colors had just 5 grams, just like this middle color. But even still, after doing that, I don't know if that really turned out correctly, because this middle section is so small. It's cute, but it's small. So I don't know if my math was wrong or what, but I'm not too bothered by it. So it's a perfect blanket for the car. I love it. So yes, it's for my son. I finished it in maybe 2 weeks, I think. I mean, I started it in the middle of vacation, and then we had a week, and then I finished it a couple days after vacation, so a week and some. So it was really quick, especially since it was acrylic yarn, or like worsted weight yarn. So anyway, here it is, one last look. that is object number 2. And my last finished object is actually, I guess, a half finished object because it is my Wonderland sock, and I did not tie in the ends yet. So this is the Wonderland sock by W.I.P. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I used a Wonderland sock yarn for the main color. I forget what the color was actually called, but then this pink color is called Rose Finch, and it is universal yarn, both sock weight, fingering weight. Here's the cabling. So yeah, there's the cabling. And so last time I talked about this and how I messed up the gusset, I guess that's what it's called, and how I did a decrease round and a decrease round. Like, I just kept repeating the decrease round without putting like a normal round without any decreases. And at first when I was working with it, I kept trying it on and I was like, oh, I think it's gonna be fine, I like it, it fits tighter. Well, I finished the sock and it does fit tighter. I do like it, but it does kind of pull down on my heel, so it's not the greatest. I'm not bothered enough by it to rip this out and start over. I am going to make the other sock just like it, so that way when I'm wearing them it's not super annoying. But yeah, I won't be making that mistake again on other socks that I do. But so yeah, that's just kind of a bummer because I thought I was hoping it would work out fine to do that, but turns out I do need to do a regular round in between the decrease rounds on socks. Yeah, it was a silly mistake that I did and I kept it, but probably should have ripped it back when I had the chance, but I didn't. Anyway, that is my sock. I flew through the finished objects. I'm also gonna kind of fly through a few of these WIPs because you've seen them all before, and honestly, no work has been done on them except for like a couple of rounds. So first up is the Corran Cardigan by Rebecca Clow from the Crayabea podcast. And yeah, I don't remember exactly where I was the last time. I probably should have put a stitch marker or something, but I'm currently working on the back. So yeah, I need to get up to, I think, 11 inches from this point, so I still have quite a bit to go. But this is what it's looking like so far. This is the inside, here's the outside. It's really pretty. I still love it. I just have not been motivated to work on it because I feel like it's getting nowhere. But it's getting somewhere when I work on it. It just, I don't know, I feel like I needed some more instant gratification and I wasn't getting it from that. So that has been put away for a little bit of time. But I don't want to say any plans because I obviously have not been keeping up on them. So this yarn is the Lion brand Comfy Cotton Blend in the color Chai Latte. This yarn is so squishy. I love it. Okay, anyway, so that's that one. There's really not much to talk about it since I've talked about it in great detail before. I guess I can tell you which options I'm going for. I'm doing the V-neck with short sleeves. And you know, I really need to get it done for fall because it would be so perfect. Right now where I'm at, it's still 90 degrees. Today is actually our last day for the super hot weather. It's like 95 degrees. Our air conditioner just turned off, thank goodness. But it's like 95 degrees now. A couple days ago it was 108, I think. And that has been kind of reoccurrent this whole summer. 108 degrees. Above 103, that's most of the summer has been. And so we are so ready for some relief. And tomorrow there is rain in the forecast. I'm so excited because, yeah, hopefully my garden will do a little bit better because it's full sun, like all day, full sun. And it's still producing, that's great. But my tomatoes are so small. And they're supposed to be full-size tomatoes, so I'm hoping with it cooling down some, they'll kind of spring back up and give me the correct produce that I'm supposed to have. So yeah, anyway, it's supposed to drop into the 70s. Okay, enough about the weather. That's not why we're here. Moving on to the Hey Handsome knit cardigan that I'm doing for my husband. I really have not worked on this. Like, I think I did one repeat section. One cable repeat. Here it is. I'm still working on the back. Yeah, this one kind of hurts my hand. I need to get a new battery. Hang on. Okay, I am back. This one hurts my hands a little bit. So I can only do a couple of the cable repeats in one sitting because it just hurts. I don't know what it is about it. There's a fly. But yeah, so the yarn started pooling some right here. Luckily my husband doesn't care, but I see it and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then it went back to doing what it was before. So it's a little bit frustrating, but what can I do? Like, I've used this yarn. This is the fourth iteration of a cardigan for my husband with this yarn, so I don't even have like a full skein. So it's all just hodgepodge together, I guess. And there we go. Yeah, so all I know about this yarn is that it's Corran brand. That might not even be right. Maybe it's Bernat. I'm not sure. I've tried looking all over for it. One time I did find it. I did not note what the colorway was called or what kind of yarn it was. I was just like, oh, I found it. And then I moved on with life. I wish I would have remembered. So, but I do know it's a 100% acrylic yarn. So it's not the best, but my husband loves the colorway. So that's why I am still working with it, because he really wants a cardigan out of it. Okay, that is that one. The next one is the temperature blanket that I'm making for my son. My goal for this was to get like, I think it was 4 weeks sewn together, or 4 rows sewn together of granny squares, because I'm doing granny squares for his temperature blanket, and that didn't happen. I blocked some more squares, but I did not get them sewn in, and I didn't even take this on vacation. I did not take it with me on vacation because I was taking my Corran and the Hey Handsome knit cardigan, and I figured that would have been enough, and it was, even though I didn't even work on them. I worked on the blanket, and yeah. So really no progress has been made on that. So why am I showing you? Because I'm showing you all my WIPs. So, yeah, but nothing has been done on it. So there's an update on that. Moving on to some new WIPs that I have, that I've started, new cast-ons. And which one should I do first? What should I talk about first? Let's do this hat. Okay, this hat is called Bankhead by Susie Gourlay, and the yarn is called, the yarn is from Kim Dye's Yarn, and the colorway is called Lord Grantham, and I feel silly, but what does that mean? Maybe my husband knows. I don't know. I don't get the reference. But it's a DK, wait, what do they call it? What do they call it? shortbread DK. That's how they have got it. It is a Paul Worth wool and silk. It's 85-15, 85% wool and 15% silk. 113 grams, 331 yards, and this is what it looks like. Did you want to know what it looks like? This is what it looks like. It's another blue and brown color, but I love this colorway. It kind of looks gingerbread-y looking. I really like it. So yeah, we've got some like caramel latte colors, I feel like. That's how I feel inspired by this colorway. Yeah, so we start off doing a twisted rib. For the size that I'm doing called for 3 inches. I did 4 because my husband wanted a wider ribbing, and because this has to stretch really far, because instead of a worsted weight, I'm using a DK, and I am using the needles that it calls for. But I did have him try it on, and he can get it on, and it fits super snug, which he likes because he doesn't want it to fall off his head, obviously. I don't know if it's supposed to be stretched that much, but it is, and it works. So I am now getting ready to do the main part of the hat, which is a 4x1 ribbing, so 4 stockinette, 1 purl. And I will do that for, I don't know how many inches. I think this is gonna have to be something where I get to a certain point and I have him try it on. He wants a slouchy beanie, and I don't think this pattern is really supposed to be slouchy. There is a sample that's kind of slouchy. So we're just gonna try and get to a good slouchy length, and I don't know what that is yet. This pattern is free. I am having a really bad time with laddering on these DPNs, but I don't want to work with a really long cord. I prefer these DPNs, and these are Knit Pro, I think. Knitter's Pride. And I don't remember how many inches long they are, but they're the bigger size, and this is a size 4.5 millimeter. Okay, that's all of the technical stuff that you need to know, right? I think so. So here we go. This is what it looks like again. I really like it. And I was afraid that it started doing some color pooling, and I think it has now that I'm looking at it from far away, but I don't think it's the worst. But since I'm about to start a different ribbing pattern, it shouldn't it should mess up that repeat or that pooling, I'm hoping. If not, it'll be fine. My husband really doesn't care about that. He's just, I want stuff that you make me. So I'm making him a hat. So I cast that on a couple days ago. And then the same day, I could not, or maybe it was the next day, I don't know. I couldn't stick with any project. I cast on a completely new project. And what is that project? It is the Home Cardigan by Kadri. And I've gotten pretty far. So the home pattern it calls for a bulky weight yarn, a number 7. And so I chose a yarn that I have that is labeled as super bulky, but it's also a craft yarn, 100% acrylic. So I feel like they never actually matched the gauges whenever patterns call for bulky or worsted, and then you go to the craft store and you buy acrylic. It doesn't actually line up. Like the yarn is always bigger than what they're getting. Yeah, the yarn is always bigger. So I did a gauge swatch because I knew this would happen, and it turns out I don't need to knit a large or an extra large like I would have if this matched gauge. I need to do a medium. So I did some fun little math. and you figured that out. So anyway, here is what we have so far. Oh my gosh. Wow. I really like this. I have not seen it reflected back. I just look at it. So that's really cool. So I have a whole bunch of this yarn, but I don't have the same lot on all of the yarn. So I've been trying to mix it in, and I'm to the point now where I can do all of it in the one color, like the one lot. That might be a mistake because I can see some striping happening and there won't be striping anymore. But that's okay. Nobody actually cares about that unless you're a knitter and you can pick that up. But yeah, so this yarn is Lion Brand Heartland. Let me look. Hometown, Lion Brand Hometown in the color Salem Creek. Excuse me, it's in the colorway Salem Creek. So it's this gray color. It has light gray and dark gray mixed with some pink and almost red color. I just thought it would be a really cool, comfy looking cardigan, utilitarian cardigan. And it's really thick. It's thick, so it'll be really warm for some fairly cool days. Because down here where we live right now, I can get away with not wearing a coat. I can just wear really heavy cardigans and be just fine. And then of course like layer up if it's even colder, like a hat and a scarf and gloves, and then I'm still fine because it's not that cold. Right now I'm just working on the body of the cardigan. I need to get a few more inches. I think like 5 or 6 more inches, something like that. And then I can start doing the ribbing, and then I guess I pick up and knit the sleeves next, and then it'll be the button band, and then I will have a home cardigan, which is super cool. Is there anything more to say about this? I don't think so. I have not tried it on yet. I was gonna wait until I get a little bit more length and switch these to a longer pair of needles so I can actually try it on. But yes, I'm very excited about it, and this has been the thing that I have been knitting on at least the past couple days, non-stop. As you can tell, this is only like 2 days worth of knitting. Maybe I shouldn't admit that, but I guess it does help that this yarn is very thick. So, and I'm knitting a smaller size than what I would normally knit, so that's also helpful. So okay, there's my home cardigan, and that is all of my WIPs. I feel like I'm flying through this. Let's move on to acquisitions. So over vacation, it was, well, right before vacation was my birthday, but I got some birthday gifts, gifted myself some. So yeah, first of all, I got a whole bunch of patterns on Ravelry. I'm not gonna share them all right now because it would just make this video too long, but I will share other things that I got. So 2 things that I got that I can't show, no, 1 thing that I got that I can't show is a interchangeable set of needles from Hobby Lobby. It was like $21. It's acrylic set, so like a plastic needles, acrylic needles. They're not the greatest, but it does help me have more needles to work with, because I can't just keep buying Chiaogus for every single project, and multiple projects when they need the same size needle, so that's a lot of Chiaogus. And I would love to have that, but to even just get me started, I'm totally fine with having these. And plus, if and when my children want to learn how to knit, I can teach them on that. I have some friends that want to learn how to knit. I can let them borrow those needles. So big plus on getting those needles. But unfortunately, I left them at my parents' house So I cannot show you and I cannot use them, but my mother's going to send them. My mom is going to send them for me. Hi Mom, if you're watching. I can't wait to have them so I can cast on everything. So while at Hobby Lobby, when I was looking at those needles, I found these stitch stoppers, or needle stoppers, I guess. They're little beehives, and this one's a honeybee. My daughter flung one of these at my parents' house, so it went missing for a while. My mom did find it, so when she sends me my needles, she will also be sending my little honeybee. Oops. So I will have my set. These ones, the bees hold a smaller gauge needle, and these ones hold bigger needles. So really cute and fun. Just wish I had the other bumblebee. Okay, the last things I'm going to talk about that are acquisitions are some yarns. So while we were on vacation, we went and visited my husband's family that lives in Illinois. So I looked up yarn stores in St. Louis because we were driving that way, and I found this shop called Seven Sisters Yarn and Fiber, and I was like, can we please go? So we stopped and I picked up 2 skeins of yarn. So this one is Emma's Yarn, Crazy Beautiful Color. That's their slogan. Simply Spectacular DK in the colorway No Place Like Home. It's a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. Love the colors. Love the name because we were up at home on vacation and there really is no place like home. So I just kind of had to get it. There was 2 other colorways that were very similar, and I kind of wish I would have gotten those 3 and I could have done a fade, but I also really badly wanted to try out other yarns, not just yarns that I've bought before, because I also have some other Emma's Yarn, different line of their yarn, but still Emma's Yarn. So I wanted to try out another brand, and I just so happened to look over in the next cubby that was next to the Emma's Yarn, and there was this color, and I was like, are you kidding me? I need this. So this is Leading Men Fiber Arts in the colorway Turning Over a New Leaf, and this is a DK weight, and I think this specific DK weight, which is 100% superwash merino, is called Dramaturg. What does that mean? I don't know, but that's what it says, kind of as if it's the name of this weight of yarn. So yeah, it's 250 yards, 115 grams. I love it. It's so earthy and green. I'm thinking I'm gonna make a hat out of this, but I can't be positive and I don't wanna make super sharp plans. So then we went back to home, or not home, but my parents' house. And there was a yarn store there that I'd never been to before. And I was like, I have to go. So my mother took me, my mom, why do I keep saying mother? I don't know. She took me and she bought me a skein of yarn, and it is this one from Wonderland Yarns. This is their Cheshire Cat line. It's a sock or fingering weight yarn, 512 yards, 4 ounces, 100% superwash merino. The colorway is Mint Chocolate. Super, super pretty. I picked it up and I was like, doesn't this look like mint chocolate ice cream? And my mom was like, yeah. And then I saw the name and I was like, that's why. So really love this. And so I kept looking at the display of Wonderland yarns and I was like, I can't pass this up. I've got to buy some more. So I picked up a green, and this is called 7th Square. And then I also picked up this one called Peach Pie. And I thought that this green went super well with both of these colorways. And I was thinking socks, but since there's no nylon in them, I'm kind of second guessing on what I want to do with them. But I also know that I could make a shorty set of sock and still have plenty of yarn left to do something with it. So yeah, yeah, those are the yarns that I got. I'm rushing through because my son and my husband are outside currently, so I can film this with quiet, and it's hot. So that's why I rushed. Hopefully it wasn't too fast. I don't want to give any plans because I obviously can't keep to anything. So I guess with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.